Well, I think, I didn't think we did a very good job of cutting and spacing tonight, against their extreme, tight shell. Obviously we didn't shoot the ball well, but we didn't generate enough quality looks either. I thought a lot of them were very contested. And then, we turned them over 20 times. We had 12 points off that. In transition, we just didn't have a quick strike mentality, and we took came up empty. I think we got 5 possession stops in a row, and I think 4 of them led to fast breaks. And I think we might have had 2 points out of those 4 possessions at one point in the third quarter. We did a good job of continuing to try to fight back in the game, but we waited too long to do that too.
That helps fight back the best, way possible is again, 11 points in that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That instant offense off the bench, just how helpful were they in at least making an attempt to get something going?
No, I mean, that unit was great. They looked good in their zone, and they got out and they moved the ball. We had great spacing. We were able to get to the rim. And Nas was really, really good. We just didn't, we just couldn't. Maybe should have stuck with that lineup a little bit longer. And we went back, and we just really kind of went flat again.
John, go ahead.
Chris, what kind of a decision is that in terms of like you want to go back to Rudy and Cat? Obviously, I mean they're the bread and butter of what you're going, but then you also do have a unit there that is clicking. How do you try to make that decision for the short term and the long term?
Yeah, I also thought that unit had expended a lot of energy at that point in time. We were going to probably make some subs there. Maybe could have done one at a time, but yeah, I mean that's like if I had to do it over again, I maybe would have staggered those guys in a little bit, but yeah.
Are you concerned right now at this point, Chris, with just the inability to get the offensive flow going with that first unit, or how do you just feel about that overall?
I think that the first unit has the ability to establish a flow. What they haven't is the ability to maintain the flow. I think they're not recognizing like what the game needs. This game we talked about cutting a lot more, being a lot more active off the ball. So yeah, we got to learn and do what the game requires rather than what we want to do individually, and how we want to try to play our game or get ourselves going. So.
And then in terms of defensively, with the looks that McDermott was getting, were those breakdowns, or was it just kind of good offense that San Antonio was running? What did you see there?
I think we were just helping off way too much at times, losing them, helping off of them, in situations when we didn't really need to, particularly when we had Rudy on the floor behind us.
Jace, go ahead.
Hey, Chris, with the Cat Rudy pairing, we've seen like some synergy with them on the offensive end, but in general, are you getting the advantages that you were hoped to getting with that pairing often enough?
I think so. I think we're getting this. We all said it's going to be a work in progress, and that's what it is. So I see good things. I see opportunities to keep growing, learning, figuring stuff out. Offensively and defensively.
What do you think is the biggest thing that can be figured out offensively, specifically when those guys are on the floor right now?
Well, right now, with Rudy on the floor and pick and roll, we run a ton of it, maybe too much. And, teams are in a drop coverage, and it's got us bottled up a little bit. I'd like to just see more ball movement and less pick and roll at times. And opportunity to find other guys and other options in the flow of what we can do.
Dane, go ahead.
Chris, no J-Mac tonight. Where did you feel that you missed him in the second unit, and what made it a Bryn Forbes game? He seemed to be the one who really benefited or got more of those minutes tonight.
Well, what did we miss? We miss what J-Mac always brings, which is the spark and kind of catalyst for our offense with that second unit. His competitiveness, and he wins a lot of 50-50 balls and all the things that we were getting beat at times out there. Bryn, I thought we need somebody who could maybe step up, make a shot, create some space out there.
And then just defensively in general, seems like there's been a lot of zone and switching that you've talked about wanting to go to. How would you assess those? And do you think, is it at a volume that the volume that you're switching and playing zone, is that at the level you kind of want to stay at, or do you think that will peel back over the course of the year?
Right now, we're doing what I think what the game needs, you know. We wanted to play zone. They're not a, you know, so they have certain lineups where they don't give you a lot of shooting, kind of slow down their offense a little bit, you know, same with the switching. But we don't bring enough physicality to the defensive end of the floor right now.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Probably a lot of people considering 15 points in that first quarter.
I felt great. You know, felt really good. All game. You know, just got out of rhythm a little bit throughout the game. So it happens. We gotta find a way to win. That's the most important thing.
The team what led to the struggles offensively was being unable to capitalize on the turnovers. Indeed,
And shoot the 3-ball well, and shoot free throws well. And finish at the basket well, so a recipe for success. Didn't let him get too many offensive rebounds as well off of our misses when we weren't shooting well. So gotta do a better job as a whole. Everybody in that locker room, everyone in our arguments, we gotta just do better. Is it just a bad thing on kind of getting used to each other? No. Just didn't play. We didn't compete enough. You know, we didn't beat them. And we had chances and it just never took them. Just didn't do enough.
We'll go to the Zoom. John, go ahead.
Hey, Carl, when things aren't going well for you guys this season, do you get a sense? I mean, are you guys getting outworked or out hustled by other teams? Do you notice a difference in maybe sweat equity that's going on out there?
I don't know. I think that we just sometimes we make the game harder on ourselves than we really need to, and it hurts us in the end. So just got to do a better job of just finding ways to win. Sometimes you got to use your smarts to win the game. Sometimes you use brute strength to win the game. But I think tonight when you're playing a coach like Pop, you gotta think the game and take what's given.
Do you get the sense that when things aren't going well, or do you guys try to do too much? Maybe make the home run play kind of situation. Do you see that out there?
Yeah, no, I think so. I think that that's something that I think every team has. Sometimes we all want to win so badly and win for each other so badly that sometimes we get a little aggressive that we need to. Just gotta play the game out. Just let the game play itself out. And just play smart. I think that obviously we're gonna have a lot of things on tape to look at and wonder why we did that. But we just gotta take this game in stride and just find ways to get better.
Last season, you guys started 4-9, and obviously a lot different than this season. Do you feel any similarities in just the slowly out of the gates, or what needs to happen to kind of get things under control and get more of a consistency out there?
Yeah, I think I have an idea what I think, but like I said, we'll get to practice tomorrow, land in Phoenix tonight, get to practice tomorrow, and get back to the drawing board. I think that we just gotta have those conversations.
Jace, go ahead.
Hey, Carl, you probably had an idea of how life would be different playing at the 4 this year, but what has been the biggest adjustment or challenge through 7 games that maybe you did or didn't expect?
honestly, I don't know. I don't really know what difference I was expecting. I mean, everything I expected, I'm kind of seeing. Um, I don't really know how to answer that question any other way than everything I thought that was going to be asked of me this season, and from that position and from a point of not only just a forward but as a player to sacrifice for this team. I wasn't surprised, and I'm not surprised, with anything I've seen so far.
Safe to say your life is your game. It's like things just are more difficult at the 4. Like it seemed like you had such a, you have so many different speed and whatnot advantages at the 5. And you certainly have some at the 4 too, but it just seems like the advantages are different. Has that made things more difficult on the floor?
No, I mean, no, felt good. I mean, I don't know from that question, just talking on the aspect of that.
Yeah, not saying you're playing poorly. I just like,
Yeah, no, I didn't feel any disadvantages in the first. I felt pretty good. I felt that, I walked in, I felt, this place has a magic to it with me. I felt pretty good walking in. I thought that, I could possibly duplicate that performance or come close. Started off the way that I thought I needed to have a chance. 3-ball, I'm not worried about. Like I said, I've had a season before that I shot terrible, and I started the season that, and I remember talking to Devin Booker in Phoenix about it, and I ended up having the best 3-point shooting career season of my career. I think I shot 42, so I'm not worried about that. That will average is always average out. It's only game 6, right? 6, I believe. 7, I think. I just was told 7, right? Okay. You got a lot of games left. I'm not worried about that. In my mind, when I see the misses of 3-pointers, I think I'm old. So I'm not really worried about all that. I just, I feel like I played 4 or 5 most of my career, especially last year. I mean, I was the 5, but I still was getting guarded by all the 4s, and the Bogdanoviches, the Jay Crowders. So it's it's nothing really changed. I just just gotta find ways to contribute more and get these guys in better spots to succeed.
Dane, go ahead.
Karl, we've talked to you after a lot of these games about how the beginning of the game, so much of it for you was about kind of distributing early on in the game. Tonight it was 15 points in the first quarter. How much of that was just about seeing single coverage consistently for the?
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right on the nose. I mean, I haven't seen single coverage all year. I saw single coverage in the first play of the game and got very aggressive. There's no reason to wait, especially for me. I'm more experienced in my career. I saw single coverage and wanted to punish them for doing that. And just throughout the game, is what it is. So I just whatever I was given a chance to do, I was going to go do. And I saw single coverage, and I really wanted to expose that defensive game plan.
Does it seem to you like you guys as a group are shading in too much to the lane versus staying out on the perimeter?
I don't know. I got to watch tape more, but I mean, there was times, third, second quarter. For me, at least with the ball, I remember there was one time I had the ball in the post. I was looking to go, saw single coverage, saw they weren't bringing anybody. Saw Kyle Anderson cut, and it stopped my mindset of trying to go to throw him a pass, and I just mishandled the ball, and it caused a turnover. But then we got the ball back, so I don't know how that was, looked at in the game. But I want to make the right play, especially if people are open. I've always preached to these guys that if you guys make the cuts, I'm going to make the pass. So just trying to keep my word when I say that. So I remember in the second quarter that happened. Kyle had an amazing cut wide open, and I was getting ready to start my driving to the basket. Just mishandled the ball, trying to go from driving the basketball to picking the ball up to throw him a pass. But I think the cuts are good. I think they're good for us. It opens up space. It gives us motion, especially in flow when the ball's not moving a lot and it gets sticky. It gives me a chance to keep the ball moving and keep the flow. but I mean, I think throughout the season, as soon as we start hitting some shots, especially threes from all of us, you know, the cutting is going to stop a little more because people are going to be so confident in day three.
That's helpful too, but I was talking about the defensive side of the floor. Does it feel like you guys are shading in defensively too much and leaving a little bit of the perimeter too open?
I don't know. That's another same thing. I got to watch the tape for today, but I know that a lot of times today, you know, I think one of our biggest problems that today we had was that their offensive rebounding was really hurting us, and they were getting really, especially in the crunch, they were getting big offensive rebounds. I remember Keita Bates-Diop got one while we were on a good run with Nas Reed and that group in there who cut the lead down, and second chance points from them killed us too. So could be that. I think, you know, we could be saying that, but at the same time, they're missing, and we're not getting the rebounds when they do miss those times when we're collapsing a little bit more in the paint and having hard contests and closeouts to the shooters.
Thanks, Carl.
Thanks, Kat.